Are you sick and tired of gambling your hard-earned money on Madden and 2K packs? Well, look no further than my sponsor, MMOEXP, for the cheapest and most reliable Madden and 2K coins on the market. And of course, do not forget to use code Ferdy for 5% off. A link for their website is at the top of the description. Today, we are updating the cornerback tier list. And here's the tier list so far. It has been a minute since the last tier list. We have guys like L'Jarius Sneed going down one tier. He was in the first, tier list video, I believe. I think he was. James Bradbury joins him, the free James Bradbury with 88 speed. 88 speed still pretty solid with good size in this game. We have a guy like, Stephon Gilmore, who basically everyone has right now. And as far as Stephon Gilmore goes, with EA dropping a brand new 91 speed receiver each day, you kind of have to start looking for other options. I understand that it's hard to do that because Stephon Gilmore is free and all the cornerback options are very expensive. But yeah, I'm still running Stephon Gilmore. I would say the cutoff for Gilmore is like most feared, or even like Team Diamonds. Like around that time, like mid-October, I think he just cannot be on teams anymore with that 87 speed. And hopefully there's more affordable inside shade options out there. That's the only reason why I'm still running him, because of inside shade. But 87 speed against 91 speed receivers, and they're only going to get faster. So, you kind of got to start looking elsewhere. Okay, so let's get started with our first corner today, and that's going to be the LTD preseason Samuel Womack. This card is not worth buying. There's going to be cards like this. I don't factor price into the rankings of these cards, so do keep that in mind as well. But Samuel Womack going for what he's going for at 5'9" doesn't make much sense. 500K, you can get Champ Bailey for the same price, basically, and almost the same price as, a guy like Charles Woodson or Night Train Lane. So it literally makes no sense to buy this card unless you have a Niners team. Even on a Niners team, this card's not going to last much longer. With 88 speed, 5'9", good zone, whatever. But yeah, I probably would not touch this card at all. So we're going to be throwing my man, Samuel Womack. I think he's like right after Carlton Davis. The speed does kind of carry him a little bit. Jalen Ramsey has 86 speed. You have some 87 speed guys here. I would throw him like right in between because of his height and his speed. The next man up is Lester Hayes. This card came out a very long time ago, and when he came out, he was the best corner in the game at 6'2", 288 speed. His discounted abilities with him being a legend also, yeah, that will play a factor in where these cards go, obviously. But yeah, 88 speed at 6'2" with good man and good zone and good press. Also a decent, like not that great of a tackler, but like 71 hit power isn't awful in his size. So yeah, we're going to be throwing Lester Hayes, and a lot of you guys most likely have Lester Hayes on a theme team. I also don't rank these cards based on being on theme teams, obviously, because then they'll all just be the same anyway. So yeah, Lester Hayes on a Raiders team could be S tier. Like you can get him up to 89 or 90 speed, even on like a Legends team, whatever. Yeah, then he could be S tier debatably, but yeah, just the way he is now, I'm going to put him at high A tier. The next man up is the alter ego cornerback Justin Fields. 6'3", 88 speed, so he's taller and the same speed as Lester Hayes. And usually, my motto when it comes to corners or even receivers sometimes is, for every inch on the height, I would say it's 2 speed. That's usually what I say. So, with that theory, then Justin Fields should be ahead of Lester Hayes. But if we compare the two cards, I would say Lester has, better stats. I would say that really only applies to, position cards, like cards that are actually corners, because you see right here, Lester Hayes just dominates him in every facet, really, besides zone coverage. So I guess if you want to play zone, go for Justin Fields. If you want to play man, you go for Lester Hayes. Maybe that could be a debate for sure, but play rec wise, just jumping, yeah, that's pretty crazy. Agility, which does matter in coverage as well, acceleration, yeah, I'm gonna go with Lester Hayes here for sure. But I do think there could be a debate. I definitely do feel that way. So we're going to put, Justin Fields in front of, let me see L'Jarius Sneed actually too. Could Sneed be better? Sneed does get inside shade. It's basically the same thing. I think I would, but it's 3 inches on the height, not just 1 inch. You know what I mean? If it was just 1 inch, then yeah. So I'd probably put Justin Fields. It's kind of the same thing. If you want man, then, but even in some schemes, L'Jarius Sneed might not get to that 90-man coverage. So yeah, I'm actually going to keep it the way it is. I'm going to keep Justin Fields in front of L'Jarius Sneed. The next man up is the man-to-man corner, Patrick Peterson. So, 89 speed, 88 acceleration, 6'1", 90-man coverage, 86 press. And I know, this might be obvious to a lot of people watching this video right now, but say you run man coverage, 70% of your snaps, you want to have a man coverage corner. It's is pretty obvious. Unless your theme team does not allow you to do that, which in my scenario, like a guy like DJ Reed has awful man coverage. I run man coverage or match coverage, like 100% of my plays really. So yeah, I mean, it's probably bad if I have a guy like DJ Reed on the field when I'm playing man or match coverage, because he has like 74 man coverage or whatever he has. It's awful. But if you're running man coverage, a guy like Patrick Peterson makes sense. I would say the only problem with this card is the fact that he cannot get inside shade because he's an 88 overall. And that's the same knock I have on the Sauce Garner card too. But we're going to throw Patrick Peterson, I think, to the top of A tier. You could definitely debate him over Lester Hayes. I would say if you value the, the 1 inch over the 1 speed, it's up to you. But I would value both these guys as basically equals. However, there is one thing you have to consider, and I didn't even consider it until I just thought about it. It's that when you power up Lester Hayes, and like I said, prices do not play any kind of factor here. And it's not like he's really even that expensive. He's really not. And I was talking about Stephon Gilmore earlier. I mean, this is not that expensive. What's like 280K for a 6'2", 88 speed inside shade? That's pretty good. That's pretty solid, especially with where the market is right now. So yeah, you get an inside shade. So again, for that reason, I'm actually going to switch the two, and I'm going to leave it that way. I think Lester Hayes is better just because he has that ability to get inside shade. I think is one of the better abilities in the game right now. And next up, we have cornerback Sauce Garner. If you did pick him for your free 88 mentor from just playing the game, then that was a good choice because he's definitely an A-tier corner. Good height, good speed, good acceleration. This card plays super well, and I've been saying this for a while in this game. EA has a problem at building, skinnier players. Sauce Garner looks way bigger than what he looks like in real life, and he's obviously tall in real life, but he's kind of skinny in real life. In this game, he's built like a middle linebacker. It's weird to see him out there, and he has the 2 arm sleeves that make him even bigger. It's kind of like Robbie Anderson. I always say that if you played last year's game, or Robbie Anderson, very slight guy, but in Madden, they just cannot make skinny players actually skinny. So Sauce Garner looks very large out there. So we're going to be throwing Sauce Garner. I do think there might be a debate for Patrick Peterson over him with him having +1 speed, but 2 inches on Sauce Garner's height is just too much for me. I'm going to leave, I'm going to put Sauce in front of Patrick Peterson. The next man up is another legend corner that came out, quite a while ago, and that's Chris McAllister. 6'1", 88 speed, 90 acceleration, can play man and can play zone. I like this a lot. As the year goes on, you're going to see a lot more corners that can play man and play zone. Both can do it. I mean, earlier in the year, up until like around this point, you're most likely, picking a corner based on if you can play man better than zone or zone better than man, depending on your scheme. With a guy like McAllister, you can just plug him into any scheme and he'll play very, very well. Also, very good pursuit too. If we head over here to his power up, he does turn to a man-to-man archetype. You're going to see this a lot on Legends this year where their archetypes switch when they're powered up. And this is again big because he can get inside shade. So I'm going to put him right into that conversation with Lester Hayes. I would still, that one's kind of tough. I might go McAllister over Lester, even though it's a 1 inch difference, just because, I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Just because Chris McAllister can play both man and zone, hits both those thresholds without strat cards, which is obviously a pretty big deal. Like I said, can fit into any scheme, onto any team. And you see right here, Lester Hayes has nothing better than Chris McAllister besides the height. So it's only 1 inch. I'm going to go McAllister over Lester Hayes without question. Okay, let's get into more of the juicy names here on this tier list. Getting started, Champ Bailey, 6 foot, 90 speed, 90 acceleration with 90 man, 86 zone. So he's an example of a corner that, has good size, has +2 speed over a guy like McAllister, but cannot play man and zone because of the thresholds. A lot of people, though, have the +4 zone because of the strat cards. If you have that, like I have that, this is a really good option because you're hitting that threshold. You're hitting both thresholds. The press can be better. Tackling isn't bad with 70 tackling for a corner, especially early game. Champ Bailey, I think, without question, is an S-tier cornerback in this game. When I bought him, I think I got him maybe the day he came out, which was definitely an overpay. But he was, right when I started using him, he was the best corner I used all year. Just blankets and man coverage, good size, great animations. And also, he's like really nasty after the catch for some reason. I don't know why, but he just is. And next up, we have the last great comp pass reward, and that's Tariq Wallen. Tariq Wallen, 89 speed, 89 acceleration. When he came out, he was easily the best corner in the game. I think easily, 6'4" with that speed, which was crazy. Everyone was grinding for this card. Now we have, Cortland Sutton and Tom Compton. But yeah, I literally got on this game to grind for Tariq Wallen. It's crazy when they give you good rewards you want to play the game because you're working towards something. It's crazy how that all works. I don't know, maybe. Especially when they get, I'm not going to get into it. No, this is a cornerback tier list, not a rant video. Tariq Wallen, though, I think is still, this one's tough. This one is tough. I think he's still S tier. You know, just 6'4", being able to move like that. I do still think Tariq Wallen is S tier. You could debate him. I think you might be able to debate him here. But at 6'4" with that speed, I mean, he's just still so good at just cutting off corner routes. I mean, I still just hate facing him. So Tariq Wallen, I think. Let me know what you guys think down below, but I think he is still an S tier corner. So next up, we have the 91 overall Darrell Revis. And the first thing I have to say, Darrell Revis is my favorite player of all time. And I just cannot fathom this. Like, I can't even understand his price tag. Do not buy this card. I don't even have this card. It makes no sense to buy Revis for $1 million when you have a guy like Champ Bailey who's half his price. However, like I said, price does not play a factor in these rankings, but I have to say, do not buy this card. He's not worth it. But 91 man, 91 zone, 93 press, and he's tied for the fastest cornerback in the game and has decent hit power for a Revis card. And people keep saying, you know, he's too short. Only a 1-inch difference between him and Champ Bailey, and Revis can play, you know, better coverage technically because he hits the zone threshold. He has better press. So yeah, I am gonna put Revis in front of Champ Bailey, but I just like Champ Bailey's half his price. So if you're looking for a corner, just buy Champ Bailey. But Revis is better, not 500K better though. The next man up is the 90 overall, aka Night Train Lane. 90 speed, 87 acceleration, which does scare me a little bit. But he's got good agility, good jumping, good play rec, good awareness, good size, can play man, can play zone, decent press, the hit power, the pursuit. A really good tackling corner, which does cover up the fact that he doesn't have that 90 press, but it's whatever. I mean, I rarely press anyway, but I know people do press. I always shit over the top. But yeah, I mean, pressing could be valuable to you. But I do think Night Train Lane is in front of Revis, and the reason why I didn't have Champ Bailey in front, you're probably thinking to yourself, oh, they have the same build, same speed, whatever, is because there's like a plus 13 difference on the press and like a plus 5 on the zone coverage. So that's why Revis is going to be over Champ Bailey. But Night Train Lane also has the tackling, has both thresholds. I think Night Train is better than Revis. And again, like, look at the price tag. I mean, like, again, there's just no point in buying Revis over a guy who's half his price and better. So I think Night Train Lane is probably the best bang for your buck corner out there right now as far as like top tier guys. Outside of the top tier guys, honestly, like Lester Hayes is pretty solid. I mean, if you're able to get the free sauce Garner, that's pretty good too. Patrick Peterson, you know, guys like that are pretty solid for their prices. But Revis just makes literally no sense for $1 million. Like, do not touch that card right now. So next man up before we get into our final cornerback is someone that's not going to be on the tier list, but just know is still a top tier corner in this game. If you're running him at corner, he is a top tier option. That's Woodson. He'd fall right into that like Tariq Wallen, you know, Champ Bailey spot. Maybe a little bit higher because of his tackling ability too. But 89 speed, can play man, can play zone. I mean, this is a really good card. And if you're using him at cornerback, he's 100% an S tier option in this game right now. But finally, last but not least, the man who, in my opinion, without debate, like you cannot debate a man that is better than him in this game right now. I think it is Charles Woodson. I think he's the #1 corner. I think he's alone there. I mean, you can debate Night Train Lane or Revis or Champ Bailey, maybe even Woodson, throw him in there, sure. I don't care. Charles Woodson is #1, 91 speed, 89 acceleration, can play man, can play zone, the press, the pursuit, 6'1". Yeah, I think this one's just kind of a no-brainer. This one's a no-brainer for me. Charles Woodson right to cornerback #1. So, yeah, that's going to do it for today's tier list. Our top 5, Charles Woodson, Night Train Lane, Darrell Revis, Champ Bailey, and Tariq Wallen. And, of course, drop a comment down below. What would you change? Did I miss any names? Let me know down in the comment section. And, as always, I will see you boys in the next one.